freedom, 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 freedom. We all want freedom, or we can see that we are free. We can see and express our freedoms. Whatever. Whether that be freedom to go wherever we want, freedom to say whatever we want. Maybe some countries limit those freedoms. Some countries, you have those freedoms, or you have those possibilities and those opportunities for freedom. But I don't just mean like, laws or whatever, but it's kind of like, think of going within and observing your own freedoms. Like, what are you free to do? Like, what are you a slave to, or what are you bound towards within yourself? So that could be things like addiction. That could be things like fleshly things, just whatever the case may be. Maybe your job or whatever. And we assume that, like, if we have more free time, or if we have more money, and with more money we can have financial freedom. With financial freedom, we can do whatever we want. And that's kind of like where freedom is. Freedom to do, or the ability to do whatever it is you want to do. And that's where there can kind of be, I feel like, a problem with that interpretation of freedom. Since you're focused on being able to do whatever you want to do, there's so many things that you can become a slave towards, right? There's so many things that you can end up just like becoming chained towards. You can end up becoming, again, like how I said, bound towards, and you don't get out of it, right? Like, okay, you have financial freedom, and now you have the freedom to do what exactly? You have the freedom to possibly drink more, go out to parties more, sleep around with, different people. And with this, you're undisciplined, you're becoming more complacent, things like that. And I'm not saying that, like, to express or to have those things, or to indulge in those things, you need financial freedom. You could be 20-something years old with like little to no responsibilities and indulge in those things, right? So you have to realize, like, a lot of things that people want to do when they have more free time, they are not things that are going to elevate them. They're not things that are going to be of benefit to them. And, you can say, oh, I'm just having fun, I'm just winding down. This is how I have fun. This is how I, let me let loose a little bit, whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, you're destroying your mind and your body by using those things as a way to feel better, basically. There's so many ways you can feel better without being destructive to yourself. And one thing is, freedom comes at a cost, right? In order to be free, you might have to give up your life to many other things. I feel like actual freedom kind of requires a bit of discipline. And with that being said, you need to be able to have control over yourself and mastery over yourself. Since when it comes to being free, it's not about doing whatever it is you want. It's about being able to have fulfillment in things that will grant you, like, just great things in this life. I don't have a better way of saying it. I don't know. My brain is like a little slow right now. But freedom is a byproduct of discipline, right? And there's so many things we can be a slave to, right? Like how I said, we can be a slave to our own, destructive desires. We can be a slave to others around us by the things that they say and the things that other people do that we allow to try and make it seem like as if those things directly affect us, when at the end of the day, if we go within ourselves and we really, really analyze what it is that is bothering us, we can kind of let go of those things. And one thing too that's kind of like came into my head, a lot of young women, like I'd say in their mid-20s, whatever, they would want to hold off onto having kids until, I don't know, let's say their 30s or their mid 30s. And I'm not trying to talk, like, I'm not trying to condemn or anybody or anything. I'm 20 years old right now, and I feel like I'm nowhere near ready to have any child whatsoever. But it's like, with going back to the example that I said, their justification of not having or not wanting to have any kids anytime soon is free time, basically. They're going to have all their freedom stripped away from them. So they're not going to be able to do what exactly with that free time or their free time. Because for one, what exactly are you doing? You're most likely going to be going to work or going to school. And then at some point you are going to graduate, and then you're going to be working. Assuming you get a pretty good job or a stable job. Hopefully you'll have one job after you graduate from college or, whatever institution, and you're going to be primarily working that job. Now, it's not like you're going to be working that job. You're probably not going to be working that job every day for the entire day. So then what is it that you're going to be doing within that time outside of work? Are you going to go to parties? Are you going to go to nightclubs or whatever and drink? Or are you going to hang out with friends that probably, honestly, like, aren't really the best for you? Are you going to go around and sleep with other people? And this doesn't just go for, like, women. This can go for young men as well. So it's just like, what exactly do you plan to do with that free time or with your quote-unquote freedom? Is it something that's going to elevate you? Is it another skill? Are you trying to develop another skill? Are you trying to build up some type of foundation before you bring kids into this world? So it's just a bunch of questions that you kind of have to, like, ask yourself as to, why do I not want kids now? Or what is it that I'm doing with my free time, right? It doesn't even have to be in the aspect of children. It could just be, what are you doing in your free time? Now, I'm not going to say you have to be productive all the time, or that you have to be just a busybody, whatever, running around all the time. But you have to make sure that every move you make is intentional into working towards yourself in the future, especially as a younger person. I still say it's never too late to start, but the younger you are, generally the better. So if you're able to actually go out and produce some skills or learn some skills and some abilities that'll make you more useful in the future, if you're able to just find qualities or build types of relationships or build network opportunities with other people as you're young, things are just going to get better, rather than, going out partying, every weekend or whatever the case may be. Because it's like, again, there's a price to everything. Having fun, there's a price to it, right? And it also depends on what you call fun. What is fun to you? Is it fun to go out and party every weekend? If that's the case, you have the freedom to do so. I'm not going to say you should not. I mean, I don't think you should be, but at the end of the day, you have your own free will. You can listen to yourself. You can completely disregard what I'm saying. And again, I'm 20 years old, so who am I to really give advice, right? But you have to really analyze everything that you do, every action and every move that you make, and see, like, okay, where is this going to take me? What are the consequences of this action? Okay, what's going to happen to me if I work out every day? What are the consequences of those actions? What's going to happen to me if I try and read every day? What are going to be the consequences of me trying to learn a new language every day? What are going to be the consequences of me smoking every day, of me drinking every day? What are the consequences of me spending the weekend out partying, spending a bunch of my money on nothing? So again, you just really have to analyze, what are these actions going to do, and how can you take your leisure time, your free time, quote unquote, and use it for you, right? Whether that be like actually resting, like you're actually resting, you're recuperating, things like that. You're reflecting, Maybe you spend time with family or friends. So maybe you go on a, instead of going partying or getting drunk with your friends, you can go on a hiking trip. Maybe go to the gym with one of your friends. You guys could do something that's physically active. Go on a picnic, be outside in nature, whatever the case may be. Something that, isn't going to have you in some grungy, nasty, gross, compacted club. I don't know. I just think club and partying culture is just so gross to me. I don't know. Maybe you can at some point end up picking up the habit of reading. Maybe reading becomes something that's more enjoyable for you. Possibly doing art, some type of creative hobbies or things that you can pick up, like learning an instrument, making paintings, drawing, just doing sketches, whatever the case may be. There's so many ways for you to kind of wind down and have fun. Just even listening to music, maybe being someone that is like, I'm just gonna get really into music for whatever reason. And then that's how you can spend your quote unquote free time instead of actually doing things that can be constructive to your body. Because it's like, are you really free when you depend on such crutches, on such vices? Like, that's not freedom, I spend my free time drinking. I get home after work every day. I get me a beer. I watch some TV. I drink. Okay, now go a week without those things. How would you feel? Let's say you were doing those things for 2-3 years straight, almost every day. And then how would you feel just going just a week or maybe even 2 weeks without these things? Would you be able to cope with that? Would you be able to properly function? And this is just me speaking just from things I've heard from other people and kind of like my own conclusions I would come to when it comes to like how I think people function when going without certain vices or certain things that we try and latch on to. So just really analyze your free time. What do you do in your free time? And is what you do in your free time, is that something that can benefit you? And again, I'm not saying that you have to be productive 100% of your day, but just again, analyze the consequences of any action that you take, whether it's good or bad. And just assess like, okay, am I really free? If I were to stop drinking, is that considered freedom? If I can't quit drinking, if I just have to drink, if I just have to party, if I just have to go out and like do these degenerate things, whatever, is that really freedom? Do I actually have some form of freedom? No, because you're someone who is just literally a slave to these things because you can't go without it. You're dependent on these things. So just analyze these things. It doesn't even have to be partying or drinking. It could be watching TV, video games, masturbation, whatever. If these things you can't go out with, these are things that you can't go without, and it's causing you discomfort and trouble and anxiety when you're going without these things, then ask yourself, are you actually truly free? Did you finish yours?
Yeah, I did fine.
Ooh.